Some people argue cases. In court, some people tell stories. And there are people who do both brilliantly. Today on Chitter Chatter, we have someone who does not just understand the law, but understands the human emotions. And behind it is a man who stood before the highest courts in the courtyard, also has taken us into deep courtrooms through his words. Welcome, Dr. Sujay Kantawala. I am looking forward for this chitter chatter, and also I hope you're looking forward for all of this chitter chatter. Welcome to Chitter Chatter.
Hi. Finally, we get to see each other.
Yes, and wish you a very happy birthday. Happy
Thank
60th
you.
birthday to you before we get started with this chitter chatter.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just
So, welcome to Chitter Chatter and a happy birthday once again. And let's start this fun journey of there's so much we want to learn from you. So tell me, doctor, this there's such a fascinating combination, a lawyer by profession and storyteller by passion. What is your take on this?
well, I'll tell you, it's my Jesuit education, and I come from a family of lawyers. In fact, my grandfather was a lawyer, noted criminal lawyer. My father was a lawyer. I am a lawyer. My daughter is a lawyer, and I have cousins who are lawyers. Uncles, aunties, lawyers. So basically, this is a family that has always been into education, and that's where I come from. But as far as the other side is concerned, it is because of my school. There was once a priest, Dr. Godfrey Pereira, who uh, encouraged me. You know, he saw maybe some spark in me. I don't know what, but he encouraged me, and ever since that day, I've started writing short stories. Thereafter, longer ones, impromptu ones, stand-up comedy. You see now, but I used to do that all the time in the class. So I had never had that stage fright or something like that, and that kind of developed. Started writing poetry, then I changed the genre, started writing books, and that's where I am. 33 years of practice as a lawyer in front of you.
So if I met you outside a courtroom or outside your books, who is the real Dr. Sujay?
Well, if I'm in front of you without a black coat, then I'm not a lawyer. If I'm wearing a black coat and I have my brief in my hand, then I'm on the way to battle. That's the simple thing.
What is something about you that people could never guess?
Well, as they say that you need to have a poker face. So sometimes looking at my face, perhaps you would not know what is lurking behind. And that's what comes out in my books. Uh, People who read my books, and now I have got a substantial amount of readership, and the reviews that I get, the feedback that I get, won't believe this, but that actually keeps me going on. Nothing more than that. And that is what is my USP. I can write things which people can never imagine. I make efforts. I really make efforts. I do a lot of research. I give up a lot of my personal time, a lot of my professional time to devote myself to writing, to devote myself to research, to conjure up a story, the outline, and present it to my reader. My reader should not be able to put my book down. Taking a flight from maybe Bombay to a destination maybe 4 hours away, 3 hours away, that book in his hand should be a put me not down book. And then when I get the reviews, maza aata hai. That's what keeps me going.
So are you more of an observer of people or a participant in people's life?
You're absolutely right. I just love observing people because the less you speak, the more you see. The less you speak, the more you hear. And when I go to one of those unfortunate visits to a malls that, where I have to accompany my wife. I just sit in one corner, or at the airport. I sit in one corner and I just observe people. In a courtroom also, I'm observing people, the fine nuances, the shifting, the eye contact, how the body is moving. All these things I take note of. And gradually, now, you get tuned. You immediately start noticing things. And that I bring into my books.
So, if I ask you to take me back in time, what drew you towards storytelling?
Originally started with poetry. And I've got three coffee table books of poetry. And then I decided that why not get more into details. Uh, you see so much of litigation happening in court. Now, suppose I'm at serial number 15 and or maybe 20, 25, 30, and I come to the court. Sitting in the courtroom, difficult to grab a seat. तो एक सीट अगर मिल गई तो you don't want to leave it. Now, when you don't want to leave it, you ultimately end up, maybe there's network, there's no network, watching what is happening in court, seeing how the particular judge is reacting to particular arguments. It's very important to observe. And that's when you start hearing matters. And it's unbelievable. I tell you, if a person wants to get into fiction writing, especially related to crime, fraud, cheating, criminal breach of trust, money laundering, any of those kind of things, or even rape, crimes against women, POXO, an event which was portrayed to be consensual was not consensual, unnatural sex, all these kinds of things that we hear, these terms, the reality happens in court. So, if a person really wants to understand how cases are developed, how they are argued, then you have to come and hear the lawyers and the battle that happens in each case, the verdicts which are given from the judges. That's when you understand what human nature is, what reality on the ground level is. You see the people outside the courtroom, you see the relatives who come to meet them, you see the under trials over there, you see notorious gangsters waiting for their next hearing. They are brought from prison. You watch the cops, how they deal with criminals. You watch how the public prosecutors perform. You watch how the defense counsels perform. All this you can only witness in court. Where else?
Right.
That's reality. There's no fiction to that.
So, was there a defining moment when you knew this is it? I want to have a storytelling to the audience and a variety of it.
Yeah, well, reading about all these stories from time to time, reading about uh, great writers writing fiction, I thought might as well try it out myself. That's when actually the genre has changed. Originally, the genre was on relationships. So, my first book was Love Knows No Boundaries. And in that book, it was about how a relationship fails. What started off was amazing, you know, it was crazy. I mean, you just couldn't get yourselves enough of each other. I mean, you wanted to constantly. But what happened? Couple of years down the line, kya hua? The face in the soda just vanished, flew out of the window. Love just became an abusive word. So, what ultimately happened? It's because you're living under the same roof. I wrote a poem, Living Under the Same Roof. It was like a poem song kind of thing. That what started off was beautiful, what ended up was miserable, but still you have that desire in you that you want to rekindle this. But do you have that desire left? Point is that you have reached a point of no return. Do you really want that to come back? So if you want to come back, then you need to rectify. You need to go back in point of time. How do you do it? You can't live under the same roof. You start taking each other for granted. It's like any other piece of furniture in the house. Where did those fine moments disappear? इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करो ना थोड़ा. Everybody is busy in their life. हम सब मशरूफ है अपनी जिंदगी में. But you need to realize what you want in life. You want something, you have to work towards it. Nothing is free.
Correct.
So the point is that if you want to go back to those basics, then you can't live under the same roof. You can't share the same loo. You can't share the same bed all the time. You can't share the same toiletries. And you can't be into each other, staring at each other all the time.
Right.
You need to give space. Try out living in a 2 BHK. She shares one room, he shares one room. Meet in the drawing room. Give yourself some time off. 3 4 days away from each other can create magic. Can create magic. So, having seen so much litigation happening on the domestic front, matrimonial, I kind of thought about a relationship based uh, kind of book where a relationship actually worked for
Okay.
25 years, 30 years. How? A prince in Africa, Muslim, falls in love with a Hindu yoga teacher who runs an ashram in Rishikesh. Now, XYZ factors could not, they decided that marriage was not the solution. But I can't live without you, can't live without me. Basis of the relationship is loyalty, trust. So how do we go about it? 4 days a month, no phones, nothing, just you and me. That's it. Any place in the world. That's it. After that, we are in touch. I go back to Africa, rule my country. Go back to Rishikesh, run an ashram. But 4 days, we are together. Nothing will change. And they're doing it from the last 25 years. They can't get enough of each other. And they're in their 60s now.
Wow.
So that was received very well. Created a little bit of a flutter, but it's okay. That's what you do.
And everything good creates a little flutter. That's like
होना ही चाहिए,
bound to happen.
होना ही चाहिए. Otherwise, you make no
चर्चा नहीं हुई
difference.
तो मतलब क्या?
Okay, you made no difference.
So when you started writing as an author, you were already observing as a lawyer, because there's
Yeah.
so much going on in court and all. But when you started writing as an author, was there a change or a shift in perspective now while observing?
Yes. In fact, because I've started writing, I now start taking down notes of certain cases that I found drastic. I was bewildered. There was a case. I did not use that case actually in my books, but there was a case where I saw this man in almost tattered clothes weeping in the witness box. He was weeping, and there was a young girl in the courtroom. She was also weeping, and I just couldn't understand. I knew the public prosecutor, so I thought, यार ये क्या हो रहा है मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा है. And then finally, the judge released him on bail, and I said, क्या है? He's saying, Sujay, यार, you won't believe it. लाइफ में क्या देखना पड़ता है हम लोग को कोर्ट में. ये लड़की है और ये इसका बाप है, ये 12 महीने से अंदर है जेल में
Oh, shit.
कंप्लेंट पर। इसने उसके अगेंस्ट कंप्लेंट फाइल किया कि ही ट्राई टू रेप मी एंड शी इज अंडर एज, शी इज अ चाइल्ड अंडर पॉक्सो। बेचारे को बेल नहीं मिल रहा था। व्हाई? ही सेड, बेटा, आई हैव नेवर टच्ड यू इन लाइफ, आई हैव ट्राइड टू बी अ फादर as much as possible. You didn't give me pocket expense. My friends encouraged me to do this. And
Oh my
seeing the
God.
father today in court in this kind of thing, she broke down and confessed before the judge. कौन लाएगा ये समय वापस? Judge also, she also had tears in eyes. You see, this is pathetic. This is what we see in court. I mean, it shakes you up. You know, it shakes up your DNA, your entire bones, your marrow. Everything is kind of, okay, to what extent? You know, and I'm sure it's happening every day. There are people
Hmm.
being falsely implicated, parents being falsely implicated, brothers, sisters. Could be sometimes true also. I'm not saying no. But the point is that will bring back all those the years, and that pathetic feeling that father must have gone through. मैंने क्या किया यार? मैंने, it's not that a mother only does sacrifices in the house.
True.
Father also does sacrifices यार. वो उसको रोना नहीं आता, father को रोना नहीं आता, so people don't see it. But the point is that I'm sure that a father equally uh, has to get credit for uh, kind of giving his contribution to the well-being and growth of his children. Did he deserve that for not giving pocket expense? And the kind of peer pressure that she was surrounded by, she got influenced by the wrong people. So, you know, these kind of things you witness in court, and then you transpose that in a different form in one of your stories. It inspires you.
It does, and it also shakes you that where has humanity gone?
I tell you, I can speak hours and hours. I tell you, Shweta, that what kind of cases, and education has got nothing to do with it. The human brain is not influenced by education, it is not influenced by culture, it's not influenced, it is only influenced by those usual factors: greed, lust, desire, those factors, revenge, that can reduce the thought process to a level which perhaps goes to the core of the earth.
Right.
God could not have imagined.
True that. Just this one case, and I mean, you see so many cases which are unbelievable.
Tell
But
you,
yeah,
Fred,
back to this. So, your books span thrillers and romance and reflect fiction. How do you move between different emotion spaces?
well, what happens is that you have to draw an outline of the story and you have to balance it, because what you want to bring in front of your readers is the reality of society on one hand, and don't make it also like doomsday. You know, you ultimately want to leave your readers with a lot of thought. But you don't want to be the prophet of doomsday, as I said.
Right, right.
You don't want to make them feel so pathetic about life. Because there's something beautiful about life. Provided how you respond to stimuli. See, stoicism is something that I follow as a matter of principle. The principle of stoicism, where your response determines everything. And you don't have to react to every stimuli. किसने कहा हर चीज में रिएक्ट करना है? You don't have to
Correct.
react. Ignore it. Move on in life. So, keeping all those concepts in mind, you move on. You create the outline of your story. Yes, but you want to send a message. because there was a particular event that inspired you. So then I realized that relationships to ho gaya. But there's so much of this murder, conspiracy, and all these kind of insidious things happening that the woman falls in love with the neighbor, together they kill the husband, or the husband falls in love with another woman, kills the wife, claims insurance also. Today's newspaper was that a man murders his constable wife, 3-year-old son, and claimed the insurance also somewhere in UP. अब ये अगर मतलब this is actual Kaliyug that we are seeing. What more can be disaster than this? So then I changed the genre, got into murder and all those kind of, and thought that what should be the murder weapon this time? Like, put my thinking cap on. That let it not be a knife or a
The
stake.
usual.
So I got in a serpent, snake bite. And that was curse of suspicion. Wow. It was received so well. When a lawyer murders his wife by paying a snake charmer to bring a viper into uh, the cot where his wife sleeps after 2 drinks. He knows exactly why she has 2 drinks at the farmhouse, and she goes to sleep on her bed. She's in her own world. So the snake was planted beneath the bedsheet. And instinctively, what does a snake do? If you try to sit on a snake, it's going to bite you. That's what happens. So that was really kind of that was received very well. And then the third one was windswept, where a young girl from Gujarat, middle class Gujarati family, gets married to an industrialist family, and very simple girl, just wanted a good life and simple life. But it turns out to be disaster. He's a psycho. The husband beats her, he's a sadist, ill treats her. And then, well, hell hath no fury, something like that, than the scorn of a woman. So the point is that once you uh, try getting to the other side of a woman, then you're going to face the whiplash. Be very clear about it.
You can have a Kali Mata coming and
Correct. So the Durga can become Kali. Correct. So that's what happened. Something snapped and she realized enough is enough. She murders the whole family. And last, the husband. The husband was murdered in a very dramatic way, which again was a lot of medical research into how to go about it. I'm not suggesting if somebody does it, but the point is then it was done in that way. That was also received very well. And then she ends up enjoying all the money, of the family. So it's not only killing, she gets away with it. It was great. So the whole journey, Shweta, from the first word to the last, changing the draft, adding something to it, altering it, amending it. मजा आता है, adding quotes, designing the cover, back cover, getting my blurbs. It's great, great fun, great fun. I'm not a professional author. I just have developed this now as my passion. It's like oxygen now for me. I I need to write. Without that, I feel I'm without oxygen. I need this.
since this is oxygen and therapeutic for you, what moment did the idea spark of your current book, The Verdict?
Verdict is I tell you, we were on a family holiday, Sikkim, and there is a beautiful hill station known as Pelling, a must go place. Huh? And There is this quaint, beautiful hotel on the mountain. It's originally British property, purchased by an industrialist, and thereafter no names, but beautiful. It's got that old, quaint feeling, And we happen to, and then you have the entire Himalaya ranges in front. So Sikkim is a beautiful place, simple people, and over there on one of my walks, because I love to go for early morning walks. And when I go for early morning walks, I like to always wait at a tea stall. You know that local tea stall where all the oldies of the village will be gossiping कि क्या हो रहा है क्या हो रहा है ईरान में क्या हुआ मतलब those kind of topics. So कुछ लेना देना नहीं है कुछ समझ नहीं आता है they are not they don't make a damn difference but they need to discuss. So you sit with them, chat for some time, then you ask, साहब का कुछ फॉरेस्ट की कहानी सुनाओ पहाड़ों में कौन सी देवी चलती है भूत कौन सा आता है ये वो they have all those kind of stories. That time I saw this poster of young girl what missing, and if you find her, then this is the number. So out of curiosity, I asked, चाचा ये क्या ये लड़की ऐसे लापता हो गई तो हाँ साहब ऐसा लगता है लोग बोलते हैं तेंदुआ लेके चला गया मतलब leopard. I said leopard is very odd, you know that leopard has enough of food in this forest. I mean, why
Right.
should take a human being? Human being is not a natural food. Only maybe there could be some circumstances, but otherwise, that's when I started thinking, कुछ तो है जिसकी पर्दादारी है. Kind of, there is something. There is a camouflage. This, it's sometimes your gut feeling from inside. You cannot put words to it, but it kind of
There is
starts
something. Ha.
lurking in you and नहीं यार कुछ तो है. That's when I hit on the idea that uh, story तो बनती है. And I started working on it. And how AI now is part of our lives and what is deep fake. Now, with all this kind of thing, if you have to find out who the culprit is, to this whole mirage, to this whole camouflage, how does a man do it? Because there
Correct.
is so much of misleading material thrown to put you off track. So
Correct.
you need to be really determined and sharp and focused to get home. There's a retired judge who is estranged from his wife and his daughter, and he has just retired. He wants to spend his time peacefully in his house in Pelling. And because I needed my character,
Right.
and my protagonist was a retired judge, and when the Chief Justice of the High Court calls him up uh, and requests him, he thinks of all the countless women in this country. This country has had countless women, young girls of all ages, who have been mistreated,
Right.
who were killed, who have been subjugated to unbelievable torture. Bodies have been found hanging on trees suddenly. They never found closure. Some people get convicted. Ultimately, the Supreme Court acquits them for some technical reason. So, those souls, do they ever find closure? Do they ever find justice? What is real justice? What is we don't follow this principle for of an eye for an eye. The high time we should, because otherwise, in this country, the way the crime is increasing,
It's escalated and how?
and trials take 20 years. Today, I read about a cop. For 12 years, he was in jail after suffering life imprisonment. Supreme Court acquitted him for killing his senior officer. He was alleged to have been alleged to have killed his senior officer with his rifle. Ultimately, now, after all the forensics, the Supreme Court comes to a conclusion that this bullet could not have been fired by the rifle which was allotted to him. Who will bring back those 12 years?
True.
So, if this is the system by which our country is being governed and is facing,
True.
when will victims ultimately get real justice? What crime did a girl like Sonia Verma commit? She was attractive, she was hardworking, she was trying to do a decent job as in a hotel to fend for her family, pay for her education. What wrong did she do? Just because a politician's son kind of took fancy for her? So that's it. That was her crime. And the whole system did not support her. The people who could have looked the other way, the so-called good people, that's the worst thing that can happen to a society. When people who are in a position to help look the other way, that's the gravest form of injustice. So what happens? So this is who killed Sonia Verma. A body is found, rain-soaked, partly burnt, and a commission of inquiry is appointed. Karan Negi is appointed under the Commission of Inquiry Act with all powers. He takes it upon himself. This is the verdict in front of you. Very, very dear and close to my heart.
We could see that while you were speaking about the story itself, that how close it is to you. Your face expression said it all. But what was the most challenging part of writing this book?
The most challenging part about writing this book was ultimately how to keep my reader occupied and how to bring out the real killer, the whole journey. Because you just can't write a 10-page book.
Right.
You have to have a proper book with proper research. And Karan fortunately had a excellent team that he kind of developed. A team of young girls, dedicated girls, who assisted him through the latest technology. One of his nieces from Kolkata, she helped him and hacked into the national database, saw how fingerprints are changed, and a lot of forensics. And ultimately, bringing in front of my reader, who always thought that नहीं यार killer तो वो था, but ultimately it was. So you have to read the book for that. But the point is,
Yeah.
the point is, Sonia Verma got closure. Sonia Verma got that justice. This is the justice that all those countless women did not get. And perhaps this may encourage people to take it upon themselves. See, unless you have that authority at your control to execute your plan, and what happens is that when you do something for somebody who can never repay you back,
It's quite unconditional.
yeah, Sonia was dead. Sonia could have never repaid Karan back. So when you do something for someone who can never repay you back, I think there can't be something more beautiful in life. That feeling that you did something without naming yourself, without making that person feel, it could be an underprivileged child, It could be a small Anganwadi Adivasi school. It could be a blind school. It could be an old age home. You can never expect something in return. We just do it because it's human. You know, if God has given you 100 rupees, if you can give $5 out of that, I mean, it's nothing. So if people start doing that, or if this book inspires them, then I think I would have reached home safely.
So usually, not only this book, but whatever books you write, whatever genre it is, whatever story it is, what do you want your readers to feel when they close your book?
I want them to have this lovely feeling, lovely feeling towards the end that, nahi yaar, I'm glad I read this book. कुछ करना चाहिए लाइफ में, कुछ तो करना चाहिए लाइफ में. लाइफ तो ऐसे निकल जाएगी, कुछ तो करना चाहिए लाइफ में, विदाउट नेमिंग, without any appreciation, just doing it because you want to feel good. चलो इसको भी मैंने मान लिया कि ये मेरा सेल्फिश मोटिव है. I'll tell you, I have a farm near Palghar. I'm terribly selfish. You know why I'm selfish?
Right?
Because I adopted a small Anganwadi school and I've not told anybody about it. Of course, my family knows, everybody in the village knows. But I'm selfish because I don't want my name to be there anywhere. But the kids know that I'm the Chikuwala uncle because and I bring all the mangoes. I change the lights. I
That's
get it
sweet.
painted once a year. Get the medical kit. My family also. And we do this. Because you know why? I'm very selfish. I feel very nice about it from inside. And I love it because I think it brings out so much of this positivity in me. And that is my selfish motive. Because I want to feel happy. So if you take that as selfish, तो मैं selfish हूँ. और मुझे selfish बनना भी है. Because I want to continue supporting that school. The master told me, साहब तुमचं नाव मतलब in Marathi that आपका नाम तो लिखना चाहिए ना डोनेटेड. बोला कभी भी मत लिखना, कभी भी मत लिखना, मैं हेल्प करना छोड़ दूंगा. तो बोला क्या साहब, कुछ तो नाम आपका लिखना चाहिए ना कि आपने ये डोनेट किया वो डोनेट किया. मेरा नाम कोई था ही भी नहीं. तो बोला अच्छा साहब ये 15 अगस्त को आपके हाथ से फ्लैग होइस्टिंग कराएंगे. आई सेड हाँ ये मैं करूँगा, ये मैं करूँगा.
Sweet.
मेरा देश मेरे लिए बहुत प्यारा है. मैं फ्लैग होइस्टिंग जरूर करूंगा और सब बच्चे रहेंगे साथ में. हम सब जनमन साथ में गाएंगे. एंड देन वील डू ए मार्च थ्रू आउट द विलेज विद अ फ्लैग, इंडियन फ्लैग.
Wow.
देयर आर अबाउट 50 स्मॉल हाउसेस हियर, स्मॉल आदिवासी विलेज. तो मैं हूँ सेल्फिश. आई ट्राई टू हेल्प बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू एक्सपेक्ट एनीथिंग इन रिटर्न. मुझे कुछ
And
नहीं
that's
चाहिए.
what you're making your characters also do. You're making them solve, you're giving them closures to the ones who haven't had without a selfish motive. Or maybe a selfish motive just to feel happy that somebody got a closure.
Correct. I want to feel happy myself. My heart should leap with joy. And I have miles to go before I sleep. But I want to do something good because I want to feel good. भाड़ में जाए दुनिया. भाई इतना तो करना चाहिए for yourself.
True.
With,
उतना तो करना चाहिए.
without your name. किसी को one of my staff needs some help. I do it quietly. I said, don't tell the others that I helped you. I feel good from inside. I'm selfish. ठीक है यार. That's how it is.
So, like you've written, like I go back to you've written so much. How do you decide what is your next story or what do you want to tell next?
I've already decided my fifth, and I've already started making an outline. The difficulty is this, that when your fourth is number one, on Amazon in three different genres at number one. And you have all the Dan Browns and the Jeffrey Archers and the John Grishams behind, and you are at number one as an Indian author. So now you have raised the bar.
Right. And now,
I tell you, and the kind of reviews, the kind of feedback is pulsating. I tell you, it's vibrating. That excitement is unimaginable. I've stopped watching TV. I've stopped watching all these kind of. I'm now putting my thoughts together for my fifth. So what happens that in court also, I'm thinking, ये चैप्टर में ये करूंगा, ये चैप्टर में ये करूंगा. A lot of my friends say, अब मुझे लगता है you start now. You have now become a part-time author only. So I said, but it's a beautiful experience. What do I do? Uh, it's again making me feel so good because now I'm going to devise one of the most sinister books ever written. I mean, unimaginable from any angle because the verdict should look like child's play in front of that. And
ah,
and it should be such a book that you will never want to put it down. You will want to maybe read it again. You may want to read that chapter again, second time. कि यार ये क्या है ये मतलब how did this guy think of this something. So this is how I'm developing my fifth, and it's going to be completely outlandish in the sense no, but all based on reality, but ultimately portrayed in such a way that the reader is going to be completely like a Mike Tyson punch after every chapter.
so like you just said, it's gonna be sinister, but it's gonna be based on reality. There's gonna be a punch
Yes.
after every chapter. So in court, everything is justice, evidence, and like everything is on evidence and argument or whatever. But in life, everything is emotion. So how do you balance the two? Because a story, when written in words, has a balance. How do you manage to do that?
In court, they say that there are two sides opposing each other. Both the sides know the truth. The judge is on trial. It's always the judge who is on trial. So the point is that yes, we are human beings. We have to have emotions. You may claim to be heartless, but you are not because you are a human being.
Right.
So you have to have some emotion. You may want to suppress that emotion. That's a different thing. But without emotion, there is nothing in life. And to control that emotion is wisdom. You don't have to let that emotion misguide you or make you commit certain things which are not supposed to be done. Because ultimately you have to follow certain rules of law also. So all that is a balance. And that is what makes life so beautiful.
True. So do you feel your books try to give voice to those untold emotions?
Yes, we do not express many a times what we are supposed to express. We always delay things. And if you have to meet a friend who's in need, or you have to meet someone whom you love, or you have to tell somebody whom you love that you love that person, or you have to do a particular beautiful thing, you always hold yourself back. Why? Why do you do it? And therefore, Munir Riaz has written a very beautiful poem, short poem. हमेशा देर कर देता हूं मैं, हमेशा देर कर देता हूं मैं. And I tell you, it's such a beautiful thing that he's written. So why delay? Why not say it? ठीक है, that person may react positively, not react positively. अपनी डिग्निटी रखो, उसकी डिग्निटी रखो, अपना सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट रखो, उसका सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट रखो. Why delay it? So, juxtaposing this whole concept into the many myriad of concepts in my books, I bring that part also as a matter of human nature and present it for my readers. I use a lot of poetry. The poetry is also written by me. In fact, the poetry in the verdict is all written by me because to add weight and to add effect to what that particular chapter is trying to convey, somehow or the other, I don't know, God is kind, but the pen just flows, and that poetry is also mine. That's how it is.
So, before we end our chitter chatter, we'll have a quick rapid fire round. As much as I want to have a lot more chit chat with you because you are like the school of stories and so much more. But we shall have more chitter chatters going on in future. But before we end today, can we have a quick rapid fire?
Of course.
Ready?
Yes.
Courtroom or writing desk?
Both. I'm in love with both. See, courtroom is my life. It's my profession. 32, 33 years. And there's not a single day that I just don't love that, whatever you call that aura, the ambience or the smell or whatever you call it, the stench, whatever the fragrance, whatever, the pulsating, the electrifying, the area which is the courtroom. Right from the magistrates court to the sessions court to the high court to the Supreme Court, I have been all over. More than 18 high courts in India I have appeared, and including the Supreme Court. And I tell you, I just can't think of a day of retirement. So now is the balance. I'm answering your question. The desk also now is a part of my DNA. I just can't. And in fact, the beauty is, Shweta, I try and write as much as I can. Uh, the rest, I dictate. If I have time from court, I come and I dictate to my stenographer or my typist. And I watch what is being dictated. Then I fine tune it later on. And if I think of something, I write it down and I collect all those sheets of paper, those loose sheets, which ultimately forms part and parcel of my book. So now is a balance, the courtroom and the writing
And
desk.
the writing desk. Logic or intuition?
Logic I have to use in my life, but intuition is something that is such a beautiful experience. You know that feeling that you get in the bottom of your stomach, that pit, when you sense something. And I tell you, every day, this intuition guides me. And more or less, my intuition has never come wrong because this is a head which works on logic. So,
Right.
logic and intuition, when they become a cocktail, wow, what a heady feeling you get. And then is your observation. Because only if you see and observe would both these things start working together. And once that chakra starts, then normally the conclusion that you reach in your mind will be, यही है.
Coffee या silence while writing?
Coffee or silence while writing? I'm not much of a coffee guy. I'm not much of a tea guy also. Alcohol I hardly have. But yes, as far as writing is concerned and my final drafts are concerned, I need to be only with my typist because he doesn't talk. He only listens to me. He keeps on typing. But part of my writing I also do in court because if I see something happening, I write down. If a case is referred, for example, there is a matter being argued on whether this was consensual or it was rape.
Hmm.
376. Whether it was consensual or it was rape. I don't want to get into this marital rape issue. I'm just saying generally. It was a relationship that went sour, went down south, and therefore, after a few years of enjoying the relationship, the woman says, "No, he raped me." Right? You have these cases. At that time, there is a matter that is referred by the council, which was decided by the Supreme Court as a precedent. So I write down that citation. Then I go to my office and I see that precedent. That precedent may inspire me. So what started in chaos ultimately ends up in silence.
Ah. Get it.
Unless you don't put your thoughts in place, that flow has to be maintained. You see, your reader is an intelligent person. You have to respect his intelligence. His flow should remain. It's like the calm Ganges, which starts from Gangotri and goes through Rishikesh, Haridwar, and all. Flowing, flowing, flowing. So the book has to be beautiful, it has to be flowing. You cannot have abrupt kind of, otherwise, your reader will lose his chain of thought. He has to be immersed in the book completely. He has to be part of that book. He has to become Karan Negi. और he thinks यार काश मैं करण नेगी बन सकता काश मैं हो सकता that way. That is the issue.
So, discipline or inspiration?
Discipline in life, without discipline in life, there is nothing. But inspiration, without inspiration, how can you write? Because my writing is inspired by true events.
Right. So,
And
everything is interlinked.
everything is interlinked. Life is completely interlinked. It's like a brain. It's got these millions of small, 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 small veins inside, which have got neurons moving far, far, karke. And that's what it is. That's the beauty. उसको बनाए रखना है बस आपको उसका ब्लड फ्लो मेंटेन करना है वो ब्लड फ्लो मेंटेन होगा ओनली विद इंस्पिरेशन एंड द थ्रिल एंड डिजायर Trishna, as they say. If you don't have it, if that intent is not there, it cannot be monotonous. रात
Correct.
को 4 बजे मैं उठता हूँ I just want to go to the loo sometimes and then I strike upon an idea. अरे यार क्या idea है? And then you take the trouble to go to the drawing room and start writing at 4. You put your thought because your thought now, you will forget it. Or for example, if it's a dream, you'll forget it if you don't write it down. You can't remember your dreams again and again. Love Knows No Boundaries was a result of a dream.
Okay.
It originally started as a result of a dream that there is a very elegant couple smoking the best Malana cream on the edge of a cliff at Dharamshala, watching the sunset, like a Nicholas Roerich painting, who painted the most beautiful sunsets on the planet. And he used to be on Malana cream, smoking away. That's how his inspiration came. It was the world's best ganja you get over there. And that couple is looking into each other's eyes. They are in their 60s. They're not talking. They're just smoking quietly and just looking at each other for hours and hours. That's the couple. The African king and the yoga teacher. So that was a result of a dream where I was like a zoom, like, camera going up from the clouds right on the cliff of Dharamshala, on the edge of the cliff, and watching this couple down. I said, my God, what am I seeing? And it was at 5 o'clock in the morning after a 31st night party where we all slept at 3 o'clock. 5 I got this dream got up. I said, what the hell hit me? I started writing it down over there. Can you imagine?
And if it wasn't written, we wouldn't have the lovely book that came to all of us. Because somewhere at some point in the busy schedules, that dream would have evaporated like the Malana cream.
All my advocate friends and clients ask me, yeah, how do you find the time? But who does not have the time? If you space your time, you have the time. हाँ अगर नहीं करना है तो you will do all sorts of rubbish things here and there. Everyone has the time to do everything. We just waste it. That's the problem.
Thank you, sir, for your lovely time and finding this time and not wasting it somewhere else on your birthday and giving it to us. Thank you for bringing justice and emotion in your stories and in our chitter chat in a very unique way.
In fact, I wanted to show you this is the magnet that we created. This is a magnet that we created for the book, The Verdict. And when we had a celebration, we ensured that everyone would put this magnet, The Verdict, onto their shoulders, onto their chest, and walk inside. And we
Wow.
had about 350 guests wearing the verdict and moving around at the success party. And
And
I
then I'm
want to
going to
thank,
be reading. I want the magnet of the verdict while reading my book and posting and telling people how much I enjoyed the book.
we have a tote bag. Is there a tote bag? Like you? We have a tote bag also, which we give. And I'm going to send you this magnet. And I'm going to send you this tote bag also, which we have specifically designed uh, for our readers. And I'll just show it to you in 1 second over here. This is also a beautiful bag, which is, and in fact, it was so beautiful that I was walking one day and I saw somebody actually using it. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
this is what the tote bag looks like.
Oh, lovely. A little this side. I can see the leopard skin. Yeah, there it is. The verdict. Brilliant. And I wanted all the viewers out here, if you haven't got your copies of the verdict, please go right now online, purchase your copy, read, and tell us what you loved about the verdict. You can message me, you can message the author, and let us know your verdict on the verdict. And thank you so much, sir, for your time for this chitter chatter. Means a lot.
Privilege, and thank you so much.